All right, welcome to another edition of the Career Report with Tim and Christina Madden. Hey, this is the show where we cut through the noise and give you tactics and strategies to be successful, right? Whether that's clarity, confidence, or strategy that you need, whether you're in a job search or you're just trying to be better at your job, this is your go-to source of information. As always, hey, if you need help in your career, go on over to execupgrades.com/podcast. Christina, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. I was enjoying a little bit of Tennessee flurries. But well, you know what I like about in Tennessee is it'll give you some flurries and then it will stop.
Yeah. Yep. We had that sleet thing and we didn't know if it was going to be icy or not. We were like, does the little man get a day off? But you were like, no, he's going.
I woke up, Team Madden, everybody be everywhere on time, business as usual.
Yep. And then, hey, as we're getting kicked off, before we go into some questions, I think it would be helpful maybe not to share the video that we watched this morning because that's a little bit too much. Wow. Talk about a video hitting you hard, right? And really what it was is remember about today to be present and intentional. Okay. So I just want to talk for a moment about do not have regret in your life. You know, one of the things I saw a couple days ago and Christina just brought up this morning was I saw this video, right? I thought about it before as well, though, that said, you know, right now in your life, right? If you think about the future, you're likely going to get better jobs at corporate America. You're going to lead better teams, bigger teams, et cetera. You're going to make more money inside now and the next 20 years, right?
More responsibilities.
More responsibility. But in 20 years, are you right? Follow me for a sec. But in 20 years, regardless of how much money you have, regardless of anything, you're likely would give it all up to come back to this moment right here. Right? Me and Christina were just talking about that. We know we're doing big things. We're going to be doing big things, guys. I don't know what your vision board looks like, but mine and Christina's, just to let you know, is yachts in Monaco and all of this ridiculous stuff, taking the best vacations in the world. But I'm telling you, when we look back, because we know we'll be there one day, we're going to say, man, this moment right here, when our son was young.
What about when we were just doing the podcast right before Christmas and Riker just started kindergarten and we just bought our dream home in Tennessee?
Yeah. So remember, and I'm saying,
but beyond that, guys, you're never going to be younger or healthier than you are today, right? So we always just want to be grateful for now and enjoy the ride.
For sure. Because here's the thing. If you're going through it right now, good. These are the moments you remember, man. These are the greatest stories. So I hope you're going through it right now. I hope times are tough because I know you're going to come out the other side and it's going to make you a stronger person. So regardless if you're dealing with a challenging boss, a challenging job search process, a challenging team that you just took over, remember, these are the best stories. So remember that. Anything to add before we get into some questions, Christina?
Just, I guess, to my moms out there too, like that's really what brought it up for me this morning was like, it's so tempting to rush through the morning and the chaos of the kids and the breakfast and the backpacks and the teacher emails and the packed lunches and the perfect snacks. And, oh, I want a fig bar, get it from your mom. And now I don't. And it's, chaos. It's so quick to want to just rush through that. And I think it's beneficial to bring this up to the moms listening that you're allowed to slow down and enjoy your family in the moment. It's not forever. They're not little forever. And yeah, that's what I've been thinking about over just the Thanksgiving break. So mamas, enjoy your families.
Yep. All right, let's get into some career stuff, Christina. What do you have for me today on the Career Report?
Well, guys, if you were listening yesterday, you know that we were doing a Q&A. I had some DMs on my Slack from some clients and DMs on LinkedIn. And we didn't get to them all because Tim and I, we will just talk a topic for a long time because they're so important. So today I wanted to snag just a few that we didn't get to yesterday. I literally have probably 20 more. Yesterday, just to recap, we were talking about really getting out of your comfort zone, posting your content, follow up with people. Don't get too bought into the identity of being an introvert and really miss out on having a bold voice on social media and just professionally in general. Today we had a question, and this is an interesting one because it's not okay. Here, I'll just tell you the question. Why isn't my LinkedIn getting recruiter traction?
Mm-hmm.
And we'll talk about this. But if you've worked with us and you know anything about how we work, one of our least favorite things to do is to necessarily be focused on attracting recruiters. But Tim, I'm going to let you take this one.
Yeah, so there's many reasons. The biggest reason I see, because I know a lot of people are going to listen to this on Spotify and Apple, is your profile sucks. All right, that's why. I'm sorry. But here's why. Think about it. A lot of everyone we talk to is trying to target 200, 300, and 400K jobs, yet they don't have a picture. They don't have a professional picture. And again, I'm not saying you need to be all suited up if you're a guy or whatever the equivalent is with the girl, but they just don't have a good picture, right? Imagine this. You own a company. You're paying someone $400,000. What type of picture would you like to have someone on their profile that's representing your organization? So do that picture. They don't have a professional brand, right? On their LinkedIn background, it's just the LinkedIn thing. It's gray. They're not branding themselves right. And again, the most painful thing is they're really good at what they do, but they don't have why. They write things like, I've led sales teams. I'm a high performing leader. I'm adding in all of these words that don't really mean anything. That's like saying, I run fast. How fast do you run, man? What's your 40 time? What's your marathon time? What time are we talking about? What do you think fast is? That may be different. So it's like you need to tell people, right, your accomplishments and achievements. What are the teams you've led? The budgets? How have you cut costs? How have you made companies money? Those are the main reasons. Now, number one, that's probably most people's problem, but there is a problem. Number two, Christina, is number one, you have to be branded effectively. That's hurting a lot of you. Then number two, if you are branded effectively, that's only a little bit of the battle. Here's what I mean by that. No one knows you. So you can have a great profile, but if no one views it, right? So people think because they optimize their profile, they're going to get 1 million recruiters reaching out. A couple will, possibly by having a more optimized profile. How can we get your profile in front of more people? There's only one way. Well, two ways. Use automated systems. Sorry, LinkedIn. Number two, create content. Create content. Your biggest problem right now is not enough people know you. Actually, the content piece is more important than the branding piece. Here's why. Say my LinkedIn profile was blank. It just said I served in the Army and I was the CEO of a company. Say it said nothing else. But check this, Christina. What if I was creating content every day about how I help people in their career, etc.? See, those videos and those posts would resonate with people probably more than my actual LinkedIn profile would. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So it's kind of like they both go hand in hand. But if you ask me what's more important, I would say no one knows you. You're not creating content of who you helped, how you've helped them, what you've overcame through your career, how you can help companies right now, right? Because I tell you what, the CEO doesn't care about your resume. He cares about what you can do for him or her. And if you can relay that in content, whether written, video, etc., that's gonna, yeah. So those are the two biggest reasons. I wish that's like saying, hey, Christina, I just built a really cool product. It's great, right? But it's not selling and no one's calling me to buy it. Like, that don't even make sense.
Well, what do you think about the part of the question that is so focused on recruiter traction?
Recruiters can't hire you, right? And coming from a recruiter who's recruited more people than most people ever will, right? Even though I may get a hold of Christina and Alex and those watching right now, right? Here's the reality. I didn't control who the company hired. Now, I would give my guidance on it, and typically the companies wouldn't even listen to me, right? They would go with the gut feeling or, hey, to each its own. But at the same time, it's like, why would you want to talk to recruiters who likely can't even influence the hiring thing anyway, who typically don't have a good idea of what they're looking for? And I know this, Christina, because actually on our converting interviews to offers call yesterday, I was talking to one of our clients, and he talked about how he's in cybersecurity. He talked about how he's so frustrated because a lot of the recruiters, and let's be honest, cybersecurity is relatively new. And by relatively new, I mean 20 years ago, we weren't worried about having this cybersecurity for companies, and it wasn't, online scams and all of these things weren't as prevalent. But he was like, man, I'm tired of talking to these recruiters because they don't really have a deep understanding of cybersecurity. And I'm like, I know.
Yeah, that's a big gap, you guys. But everybody feels great when a recruiter reaches out because you feel like you're making traction and you get excited and Okay, so along with that question then, because we're on this track, I want to talk about this one, which is, how do I fix my profile if I'm scared of being too visible to my current employer?
Yeah, here's your easiest go-to if you haven't updated your profile ever or you're making some enhancements to it. You're right. That's the first thing everyone gets worried. Here's the way I would explain it if Christina is my boss. So let's say Christina comes to me and let's say I'm a director of sales and she's the VP.
So hold on. Before we jump to how to handle it, would you go ahead and you don't, okay, so let me ask this the right way. You're saying you would move forward, take care of the entire rebranding, sort of then wait, if you get questions, deal with it then?
Absolutely.
Okay. So his advice then, guys, is don't hold back from branding it, especially if you're one of our clients listening. Go full force with that. Get the traction you want. Get excited. Get your whole rebrand done, your whole profile optimized, and only if and when you get questioned, handle it like this. Okay, go.
If Christina came to me and said, "Hey, Tim, I noticed you updated your profile. Ha ha ha," or that's typically how it goes. I would say this. Absolutely, Christina, I updated my profile. Absolutely. Can you believe I'm the director of sales? I lead 20 people. They keep trying to connect with me on LinkedIn. I didn't even have my picture. I didn't have my accomplishments, and I'm supposed to be a mentor for them. Then let alone, I have clients, Christina, that are sales professional, have converted into clients that have paid us a lot of money that I'm supposed to help support as well. And they're connecting with me on LinkedIn. And to be honest with you, I was a little embarrassed. I didn't have a professional photo. I didn't have any of my accomplishments and stuff. And I'm glad I freaking handled that. I feel a lot better about my online visibility now. Hey, I was looking at your profile. I didn't notice any accomplishments as well. So, hey, I actually know someone who can help you with that if you want to. What's an employer going to say there? You can likely use that for no matter what you do. Customer success, you can use that. Operations, you deal with clients, right? You can use
I will say of all the people that have expressed high anxiety about this, like it never actually even happened anyway. I mean, have you actually heard any horror stories that where this has happened to somebody?
Anytime it's been, guys, we've helped 8,000 people here. 3 people had pinged me and said, "Hey, my boss said something. What do I say?" And I told him exactly that. So, Christina, we're batting 3 for 8,000. I think you're fine.
All right, guys, don't be scared.
And I want to say this too. I really do think people use this as a freaking excuse most of the time. Now, I get what you're saying. You're fearful, and I get it. But I would take it a step further and say, are you really fearful of that? Or are you more fearful of now you've actually made a dedication that you are moving forward doing something? Because I have an amazing quote here. I love this, Christina. Most people make decisions to avoid fear, not to create a better future. But your life is shaped by what you move toward, not what you hide from. When you make decisions based on the person you want to be instead of the fears holding you back, everything changes. So remember, we try to rewire your brain on this podcast as well. Rewire your brain. Are you ready? Fear is a good thing, ladies and gentlemen. Lack of fear, you should be worried.
I may or may not have written a best-selling book on the topic called The Fearless Executive by Christina Madden, available on Amazon for about $5 if you need to learn how to deal with and navigate your relationship with fear a little bit better and not let it really drive you. Okay, so I got a good one, and we'll be probably wrapping up with this, and they tie together, which is, and I know everyone's asked themselves this question, no matter how qualified they are, underqualified, or how great or not great they are. But how do I know if I'm actually qualified for a VP or C-suite role, or if I'm overestimating myself. And I'm going to tie it in with, and why does everyone else seem more confident in their career than I feel?
That is funny. The last one. I'll handle the first one first.
Real deal here.
Realistically, here's what hiring managers, after polling thousands of them, say. If you have 70% of the job qualifications you're going after, you're qualified. And a good rule of thumb is 30 to 50% more responsibility. So look at the team you lead now. If you add 30 to 50%, what are the responsibilities of that? That's a good indicator. Okay. A lot of people think they need to match every single thing. You actually don't. If you matched every single thing, you'd likely be overqualified for the role. So that's just my general advice for everybody. As far as confident, now take this for what it is. I can only provide you the stats. Almost every single person I talk to is not confident. I will tell you, we work with a lot of people every year. We've helped over 2,300 people get on interviews this year. We've helped place over 400 something. You know how many people, came to me with just an abundance of confidence right when we partnered? Less than 10 of those people. And some of these people, man, are very high level. They're high level in private equity. They're high level sales leaders, tech. So I just want to let you know that no. They're maybe perceived as that because how they brand themselves and position themselves. But behind the curtains on our calls and a call Christina leads every week, that's not the case.
Well, and today's call coming up in a few minutes is about identity congruence, which is what I know to be one of the only things that builds confidence, which is, does your external world really match your internal world? That is the most simple way I can quickly put what identity congruence is. So if you're somebody who values, integrity, being on time, whatever your values are and who you say you are you really living in congruence with those things? I'm not going to go too far out in left field, but if your habits and your beliefs and your behaviors don't match who you're projecting yourself out to be, that is where confidence dies. And so if you want more confidence, decide who it is you want to be, what is the identity, and then live in alignment and make decisions from that. It's the one and only way to build confidence. And if you've met somebody who you're like, wow, like I just wish I could have a fraction of that person's confidence, you can feel it. It's because there's alignment with who they are and how they live. I know that's a big topic, but that's what keeps you grounded. And so if you're putting out content about being not an overachiever, maybe I'm a little bit of an overachiever over here, but you're putting out content about being a high achiever and whatever, if you're putting out content about whatever, if behind the scenes you are not living as that person, that's what's going to kill your confidence.
Yep.
So slowly filling the gap between who you say you are and who you want to become and actually how you're behaving is where all that confidence comes from. And because people don't typically take the time to do that and design that and do that identity work, that's why they struggle with confidence again, which again has very little to do with your skill set. Your work itself has very, very little to do with your confidence. So you're like, oh God, I have all these amazing achievements. And so for some reason, you're still questioning everything. You're confused. You're calling yourself an imposter, all those things. It's because you're out of alignment with who you truly want to be and how you want to be.
This will never end, ladies and gentlemen. As we're wrapping up, our mentor sold his first company for $200 million. 6 months later, he was depressed and he thought he got lucky. Building a company for 20 years, his first company, and selling it for $2 million. Did I get lucky? He was all in his head. Hey, got a quote for one of our mentors.
Sorry, I want to hear your quote, but how he got out of that rut was because he realized, oh my gosh, I'm a person who wants to impact lives, have purpose. I don't want to be drunk on the golf course. I don't want to be doing all this stuff. I really want to do X, Y, Z. And then the alignment, the velocity and the alignment that happened from there, now he's the most confident guy. What Tim is trying to say is it's not got anything to do with what you sold your company for or how much money you make.
It's not.
Yeah.
Well, we got to stay on now because Brenda said this, Christina.
Oh.
She said, I'm pivoting and it's hard to have confidence when you have to reinvent yourself. I immediately go to Brenda.
Your reinvention
advice is like, you get to reinvent yourself.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So exciting. That's awesome.
Yeah.
You get to leave the old you behind and go do something totally new. Like, how exciting. Remember, most of life is how you perceive it. If you perceive something as it sucks or it's hard, I don't care what it is, it will be. That's why when I served in the military, and I'll give you Christina's, take on it. When I served in the military, I was a field artillery officer. Guys, I spent a lot of time in the field, meaning in the woods where it's raining and all of these sucky conditions. But what am I going to do? So to trick ourselves, every time we'd be out there and it'd be raining or too hot, we'd always just make jokes about it, Brenda, of like, man, what a good day to train out here today. We'd always just keep it light. Because think about this. Imagine being out there, say I'm the leader. Man, it sucks being out here, Christina. It's raining. I hate the rain. You've just killed the whole culture of your organization, right?
And your own internal energy. Yeah.
Tips for you, Christina.
Yeah, it's just a simple reframe here. And it hit Tim pretty quickly. Like, why does, because you're reinventing yourself, make it hard to have confidence when really reinvention is where confidence is found? Quite literally. So this is just a flip of a belief of, hey, it's going to be hard to have confidence because I'm pivoting and I have to reinvent myself. No, oh my gosh, I'm going to be way more confident because I'm going to reinvent myself. It's just most of the time, whatever we're thinking, we have to completely flip it to get our emotional state back to neutral and excited, like how Tim just got excited. Because again, if I'm hard, it's hard. I'm not going to have confidence. Reinventing myself is hard. I'm pivoting, so it's hard. I'm not picking on you, Brenda. This is for everybody all the time, right?
Everyone thinks this way.
Then again, pick up my book if any of this is resonating, because if that's going to be the thought and the belief, that's the leading thought and belief, your emotional state's going to be sad and anxious, not excited, not neutral, because you're going to feel like everything's hard and that reinventing yourself is scary and hard and difficult, when really it's the land of opportunity. So is Brenda one of our clients?
Nope.
No, she's not. Oh gosh.
That's why you should be.
Tim and I, we were talking before this podcast. And he's like, I think it's only most of our listeners going to be on today. And I'm like, nope, I bet we have lots of people listening that aren't our clients yet. But anyway, Brenda, I was going to say, be sure to be on my event in 5 minutes so I can help you with your identity congruence. But you're not a client yet, Brenda. Book a call
email Tim at execupgrades.com. All right. I do really have to go now, but I do want to end with this. Our mentor, Grant Cardone, said, this is for you in a job search right now. Okay. Says everyone treats December like it's a throwaway month. It's holiday mode. Slow down, wrap it up, take it easy. He said, not me, not my team, and not anyone serious about winning. December is the month that separates the casual players from the obsessed. While most people coast into the new year, the real operators are stacking deals, planning job searches, planning expansions, tightening systems, and setting targets so big they make the average person uncomfortable. If you want 2026 to be your best year, it doesn't start in January. It starts right now. Hey, go on over to execupgrades.com/podcast. Thank you for tuning in today to the Career Report. Have a great day.